Hello, everybody. It's December 14, 2024, and I'm 40 minutes late. Why would I be 40 minutes late? Because the criminals put me to sleep with radio frequencies. Yes, they did. Yes, they did, these little losers. And I didn't even hear my alarm go off. I have an alarm that goes off at 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 p.m., and I didn't even hear it. I hope everybody's doing okay. But yeah, these they're control freaks. And let's see what we're gonna put in here for you guys. Good evening, everybody. It's December 14th, 2024, and we're 40 minutes late because the losers, the control freaks, sent radio frequencies my way and knocked me out because they like to steal my time, steal everything else. But that's okay. We'll get even with them. We'll get even with them. We'll make them popular, like Scarlett Marks. Yeah, Scarlett Marks with her poopy diapers. First, she throws like poopy toilet paper on my driveway, and then she throws poopy diapers. I mean, this is the mindset of the losers around here, right? It baffles the mind how immature. And she's a nurse. Would you want to be treated by Scarlett Marks, the nurse, with poopy diapers? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I hope everybody's doing okay. I see 4 people. Please remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. Say hi. And yes, I'm 40 minutes late because the criminals put me to sleep with radio frequencies while I'm just sitting here. Hello, hello, hello. I went through a few books. I've got a few books on targeting, and I went through and I pulled a couple of them. I'd like to read a couple of chapters from them. Now that we're all, nice and cozy with all the drones over New Jersey, right? It like the ABC agencies claim that they don't know what they are. I'm confused. I don't understand. Why are we paying these people? Hello, hello, everybody. Good evening. And yes, I'm about 40 minutes late because the criminals, the control freaks, they like to play with their little radio frequencies, their little joysticks, interfere with my brain waves, and knock me out, put me to sleep. It was like I'd made a cup of coffee, and I ate an organic cupcake, a vegan cupcake, and then I sat down here to read my mail. I knew I had about 20 minutes to go, and they knocked me out. It has to stop. And I didn't even hear my alarm go off. This is not good. It's not healthy. But I hope everybody had the opportunity to see that sweet little TikTok I made about Scarlett and her poopy diapers. Scarlett in her poopy diapers. We had to make her popular. Yeah, it would be cool if the drones were on our side. Fat chance, right? I know. I know. They could be taking you if they're putting you out. Well, I have my door is like closed. Um, I was sitting here and it's like it was about 20 minutes to 10. And I went through some books to look at chapters that I was going to read to you guys. Hi, Joe. How are you? Yeah, what's going on with these billionaires? See, money is not even a protection. We're all going to die. Mhm. Cheryl says, no, clue us in. Joe, tell us what billionaires are dropping like hotcakes? It's not Bill from the gates of hell. No, no, slight chance. How about that Fauci guy? Nah, they're all getting pardoned. I don't really know any billionaires. Who's actually billionaires? So there's Bill Gates, there's Anthony Fauci. Oh yeah, what's her name? Oh yeah, Pelosi. What's going on with her? She made it to the hospital. She tripped or something. Yeah, Cheryl says I think they're going underground. It's possible. It's possible. Either that or like their clones are coming out because it was really weird. Like I saw a very short clip. I think it was a short, and it was they were interviewing J Lo about P Diddy, and it didn't even look like her. Oh, I don't know. I missed that news, Joe. He says another billionaire died by falling off a cliff today. Well, usually when they fall off a cliff, they've been bribed, coerced, threatened. So they play let's pretend I'm falling off a cliff. Just like that Cappy guy who just suddenly like he gets hit by a car. They all get threatened. Yeah, exactly. They bribe them because what they do, especially with these billionaires, they have so much money. They're all involved in illegal things. So you know how they set targeted people up. Well, they set them up too. All kinds of uncompromising positions. And even if not, they lie about them. Okay, so it's Isaac Andic, founder of Mango, a Spanish fashion brand. Yeah, I'm not familiar with him. I didn't hear about it. I've been just listening to news on the New Jersey drones. I'm from New Jersey, so I know they have drones. I live there. They used to fly over my house. And that was 5 years ago. When I FOIA requested them now open police about their drones, they never responded to me. So I guess that, see, I got my answer now. 5 years later, yes, New Jersey has drones. So Cheryl says, I wonder if there's some vigilantes going after them. You never know. Cheryl, that's a really good point. Like, I've thought to myself, we have all these horrible people stalking us, innocent people. But these billionaires and millionaires and stuff, you mean to tell me that there aren't people out there that can't stand them, that hate them? There has to be. And UHC CEO. Who's UHC? University? Is that a university? UHC just got unalived. I know, Cheryl. My only hope too is that there are some good guys out there that are going to, do some good things. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. I see there are 11 people and 4 thumbsies up these. Oh, yeah, the United Healthcare. Yes. Well, there's something fishy about that United Healthcare guy, because he usually has like a bodyguard or somebody, but on that particular morning, he went out and told his bodyguards that he didn't need to follow him. So something is just very fishy. So either he went out to do something nefarious, maybe he was having an affair and he didn't want his bodyguard around, and then this just happened. So, it's unfortunate. I mean, no matter how bad these people are, I'd almost rather see them get caught and go through the due process, go through the criminal justice system, so that people can interview them and interrogate them and really make them squirm and have to answer to some questions. But now, like, we'll never know. And all of these healthcare professionals, I mean, they're all bad. I mean, most of them are bad because they're profiting off of people's misery and not healing people. They're not healing people. So I haven't had medical insurance since my divorce. It's just too expensive. It's just too expensive. I know. Oh, I know. I know. So Joe says, right, but look at what happened to Hunter. I know. I mean, is that crazy? Well, it's his son. But, that's just like another slap in the American people's faces. They're just letting him off the hook. But I don't understand why the intel agencies didn't do something about it. I mean, how could you pardon him? I don't know. It's possible with the incoming administration, they'll do something. It is. It's a slap to our faces. And now I heard that they might do it with the Fauci guy too. And people can't stand him. Just people can't stand him. I don't know. We've got such bad people running the country. Bad people just running everything. Corey Resilience. Oh, Core. Okay, I'm not familiar, but thank you for remembering, Cheryl. Yes, you told me about a man who said that drones can be hacked. That sort of makes sense, right? I mean, because the drones, some of them are battery operated. Some of them, he posted about drones and he thinks they are fallen angels. They're so weird. They're very weird looking. They're not they're not like the little drones that that you or I would fly up to take pictures of our property. These things are huge. Like, who's running them? I mean, I read, I guess, the last few weeks that some drones are battery operated, and the batteries recharge themselves off of the electrical power lines. There are different kinds of drones, because the one that guy investigates them on the West Coast calls them dragons, and they seem alive. Well, look at them in the sky. Look at them over in New Jersey. Oh, and then they're interviewing all the intel people and the governor, and the mayor, and all those people in New Jersey, and nobody seems to know what's going on. I don't know. I'm a little confused because, in the name of national security, if you don't know what they are, aren't you going to shoot them down? But no, in the name of national security, let me see. One was shot down and another one went and rescued it. That's weird. So one was shot down and then a drone rescued it? That's weird. Hi, Fred. Welcome, welcome. Fred says, if you hear voices in your apartment house, come out of your house and the voices are no more. Then they're having a hard time keeping up with the illusion. It just started to rain here. And since they took all the nails out of my metal roof on one of those small buildings, I'm going to have to. I put some buckets in there. I'm going to have to. You can see the interview on Whitney Schreiber's channel. I don't know who Whitney Schreiber. I don't know who that is. Let me see. Whitney Schreiber's. Let me go quickly look at it. Okay, so Whitney Schreiber. Strieber, not Schreiber, Strieber. Oh, I see. He wrote here, drones in New Jersey, a conversation with a media analyst. I'll have to look at that. He's been a contactee for years. May have spelled his name wrong. No, you spelled the name correctly, Cheryl. Yeah, I just pulled it up. And Fred, yeah, that's Scarlett. I don't know if, well, we could say they're her used adult diapers, but when I looked briefly, they look like little baby diapers. They're probably the baby diapers that belong to the sheriff's babies, with her daughter that they're not married. I don't know. That's the way they do it around here. But is that disgusting? It's like it's relentless, childish nonsense. But the amount of trash these people throw on my property over the last years is off the charts. They're doing such damage to my property. It's unbelievable. Yeah, so this on the Whitley Strieber. Okay, I see. He's got what's going on with these he calls them UFO drones. And then the Martian enigmas in our lost past, an astonishing and revelatory new vision of the UFO mystery. Yeah, I'll have to listen to that. You know, whenever people speak about aliens, I just think it's our government. They're just so good at playing let's pretend. Cheryl says the interview he had with a guy who lives off the West Coast has been investigating them for years. That is where I saw that footage. They look like birds. Well, you know, I saw something weird in New Jersey. I mean, again, this is a long time ago because I'm living here almost 6 years. And it was probably, I don't know, maybe 2017, 2016. I was watching the Oscars, and I guess it was during a break, and I decided I was going to take my garbage to the street. I had to wheel them. So I opened up my garage door, go get my garbage, and I'm walking to my mailbox where I leave my trash on the left side. And I look up in the sky, and there are all these little flashing lights. Um, and there were a lot of them. They weren't stars, but I didn't really know what a drone was then. And I'm wondering if they were drones that I was looking at. I asked around to my neighbors if they saw anything, and they didn't know what I was talking about. But they were like twinkling lights, but they weren't stars. And I don't know if they were drones or I don't know what they were. It was really pretty. It wasn't, offensive or anything. I never saw them again. Now, please remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. Yeah, but I was watching Riverside Homestead earlier, who's reporting on these drones. And then, to have like local government come out and say, well, we don't know what they are. And we don't know what you're talking about. And meanwhile, everybody in New Jersey's photographing them. It's like you can't say that they're not existing. Well, like everybody in New Jersey's talking about them and photographing them and posting the photos online. They were in North Jersey, they're in South Jersey, but it's not just in New Jersey. There was a woman in Arkansas who said she had drones over her property. I mean, if you're a targeted person, you always have drones. Like I've got drones over my property. And the drones here are pretty nasty. Like they like to scorch my grass. So they've got some kind of a weapon, some kind of a laser or something. Yeah, it's raining pretty hard here right now. So how's everybody doing? So the Catholic Church admits is going to open portals. What? Wait a minute. I'm so detached from this stuff. The Catholic Church admits it's going to open portals on the 25th. I mean, on Christmas Day. Well, I have to tell you that it's my opinion, okay, that the Roman Catholic Church is really the pit of evil. I'm sorry. I was raised Roman Catholic. I know, Fred, it's horrible. I mean, you would think that living in the middle of the nowhere that you wouldn't have that many stalkers, you know? Like in New Jersey, they were so obvious, the dog walkers, the baby walkers, my neighbor who would hide in the shrubs and stuff. But in an apartment, you've got people upstairs, downstairs, side by side. I know, I know. I know. I feel bad for targeted people that live in apartments also. I mean, I know one targeted female, she got so fed up with being in the apartments and being harassed that she's in her car now. Every once in a while she'll go to a hotel or try to, rent for a little while. But she said, she's been in her car for a while. It's crummy. So I've got, let me see, one, two, three, I've got 4 books. I'm gonna read like little blurbs from these books on targeting and stuff. But just give me a minute because I want to grab something to drink. These criminals put me to sleep for more than 40 minutes. But I've been here because I have my door boarded. I've got a vertical and a horizontal bar on it. So let's see. Rex says, yesterday morning I poured some milk into my oatmeal and noticed a pungent smell. I took my spoon and held it close to my nose and realized someone had come in and poured, oh my goodness, in the jug. Oh my goodness. And Cheryl says, one TI went by the name Araconixon. Oh my goodness. Well, I can't read those words, but I see what you're saying. He turned himself into the police. I never found out what his sentence was, but I would imagine he would spend the rest of his life in jail. Hi, Stephen. Welcome, welcome. That's horrible, Rex. RevX content. I'm sorry to hear that. They do a lot of horrible things to our food. I went to grab a piece of bread that I had out. I had it wrapped in plastic and stuff. I went to grab it, and it wasn't old, and it was all covered in green mold. And that's what they do a lot to my food. They have the ability to deliberately rot, rust, mold anything with their technology. Well, yeah, you say it may seem like a joke. I wish it was, but these people are sick and will stop at nothing to make you snap. I know they're horrible. It's very immature. And the worst part about it, like, I'm probably a little bit older than you guys, but when I was in grade school, junior high school, and even high school, I don't ever remember people playing such sick jokes on people as they do now. I mean, I remember like the biggest thing that that people would do is like maybe spill something on something. Um, when I was going to school, like boys would look up your dress, like when you're walking up the stairs and stuff like that. But these people are sick. Could you imagine driving down the county road with a plastic garbage bag filled with dirty diapers and pulling up to somebody's mailbox and dumping them underneath? Or how about what they did last week? They stuck a turkey carcass on the side of the road here. They stuffed my mailbox with a skinned animal and on the driveway. I know, Cheryl, it's not the same world. I don't know what happened to the world I grew up in. I agree. It's not the same. Well, people, I don't know how much I can say on the live, but in my opinion, a lot of it has to do with not only the food supply, but the prescriptions that many people take. And also in certain areas, there's a lot of inbreeding, and inbreeding causes neurological problems, psychological problems, drug use. It's horrible. We're creating a society of narcissists. And Rev Revex says, ever since that jackass show, the pranks became depraved and despicable. Yeah, I remember that show. Like, everybody thought it was funny, but it's really not funny to do those kind of pranks on people. It's not nice. It may seem like funny at the time, but it gives people bad ideas. And people who are not in a good headspace already have bad ideas. So I have 4 books here. That's a good point, Cheryl. Cheryl says, I don't think they had mind control tech back in those days. Well, you know what? I think that they did, but I don't think the mind control tech was one that advanced. It's way more advanced now. And I don't think that they were generally using it so much on the public as they do now. I think that they were doing it in more controlled environments. Although you can say that a targeted individual is a controlled environment because they isolate us. But I think that they were doing their mind control experiments more on specific populations, the prison population and the mental institutions and stuff like that, and select people. But now it's just kind of rolled out to the whole population. Exactly, exactly. They weren't using it on everybody. In my opinion, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I think that they were smaller populations, and now they're using it along the entire population. And also, I don't believe that I'm when I was growing up that they had the nanotech that they were inserting the foods and stuff as they're doing today. It's very different world. I agree. I've got 4 books here. I'm going to read like little blurbs from them. One is The Battle for Your Brain, Psychological Warfare. This is by Viorel Serv, and he's got a YouTube channel, gang stalking attention awareness. I've got a book, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, and Guinea Pigs by John Hall, and Advice for the Targeted Individual and Gang Stalking Victim by T.I. Paladin. So I've been just kind of looking through these and gonna read like little blurbs from them. And I apologize that I was 40 minutes late because the criminals knocked me out with radio frequencies. They think it's funny. They think it's funny. Wait till it happens to them. It won't be funny when it happens to them. So this first book, Battle for Your Brain, Psychological Warfare by Viorel Serv. I know, Fred. I felt that way too. Fred says, life is so much better when we live without headphones and the internet 20 years ago. Hi, con artist. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I arrived 40 minutes late because the criminals knocked me out with radio frequencies. I had just finished having a cup of coffee, like a hot cocoa coffee. I just had like this vegan chocolate little teeny cupcake. I sit down here to go through my books and they knock me out. So I've got 4 books here that I'm going to read from. And it's raining here. I don't know if I don't think you can hear it in the background. So anyway, this first book is Battle for Your Brain, Psychological Warfare by Viorel Serv. He's got a YouTube channel, Gang Stalking Attention Awareness. Cheryl says, the next time you drink that coffee and you knock out again, it's in your coffee. It's very possible. It's very possible. Anything is possible, Cheryl. They do so many things to me, my animals, the property, insects. I can clean out my refrigerator, and then like within a day, it's dirty. Like they do stuff inside the refrigerator, on the floors, like everywhere. It just really disturbs me. There is a subscriber who says that in the last couple of videos that I posted when I'm showing the county creek and everything, that he saw 2 cloaked men. And let me see if I could find the comment. It was a little spooky comment. One second. If I can find his comments here. One second. Give me just 1 minute. I have a very, very slow laptop, so it takes a while. Let me see. I think it was this one. He said that, like, when the video started, he could see cloaked people in my video. 1 second. Well, here it is. Okay. So this is a comment that this a subscriber made. Again, in the beginning of the video, there were two men in your yard, and you can see them when the video blurs. They are digging up your property to distract you from the digging of tunnels underground. He says, you're in extreme danger. I'm glad to see that you're wearing gloves. Always do this when checking your mail or anything that's being tampered with. So that's pretty scary stuff. I played the video a couple of times and I'm just not seeing what he's seeing. It could be because I've got an old laptop. Maybe if I had a newer one, I could see things better. And the video is the one from on the 13th, real estate mobbing, land sabotage, fake erosion. That I didn't end the video. And then the video before that, he said again, at the beginning of the video, there were two men in your yard, and you could see them when your video blurs. I'm going to have to look at it again. Cloaked. Yes, I too saw the hands of a cloaked person for the first time ever in my bedroom 4 weeks ago. Oh my. This is what they're doing. They're using this technology. They use sleep frequency devices often. Mr. Miller from Canada reported in his videos. Oh, is that Mike? Fred, is that Mike? I don't know if that's his last name. Watch the coffee. Felt I have had coffee tampering. It's very possible. I might have to switch back to, costs a little bit more money, but you can buy the individual packets. Yeah, Mike. The sleep frequencies. Yes, they do that. They do that to steal your time. It interferes with the circadian rhythm. And I've noticed that they do it a lot, because they know what your routine is. And they did it to me last night when I was going to write to the Attorney General. So they totally screwed me up, stole my time. When they tunnel underground, usually you hear a humming noise from the equipment they use. Yeah, I'm not hearing that. I do hear humming in the sky though. There's definitely drones up there. I would if there was something like that, Cheryl, I would hear it. But again, I do have to sleep, and they do knock me out. And when they put me to sleep, who knows what they're doing, right? I wouldn't hear it. So anyway, on this book, The Battle for Your Brain, Psychological Warfare, this is Tactics and Techniques, PSYOP, Psychological Operations. U.S. military states that the ultimate goal of a PO, which is a psychological operation, is to modify the behavior of the TI by destroying their will. And that could be something that they're doing when they're putting you to sleep, because it literally is against your will. I don't want to go to sleep. And you have no awareness that it's actually happening until you wake up from it. I mean, it's really cruel. It's very cruel. So this is brought about by continually inflicting pain. This is accomplished by a relentless campaign used to demoralize the TI that will create perpetual feelings of intense fear and hopelessness. If sleep deprivation and messing with circadian rhythm is sure way fire to deprive us, therefore another pathway to Zerzetzung. Absolutely. It can't be healthy, con artist, to keep interfering with somebody's circadian rhythm, their natural patterns. It cannot be healthy. So the DoD describes this as an attrition based approach. Attrition is the product or gradual erosion of the will. The victim of this psychological attrition gradually becomes convinced that nothing he can do will yield a satisfactory outcome to a situation. In PO, psychological operations, themes are used to transmit painful stimuli, also called triggers, through all of his or her channels of communication, which a TI has been sensitized to. Oh, I guess like Scarlet marks dropping poopy diapers, poopy toilet paper. You know what? The way I look at it is, it's not about me. It's a projection of who they are. They're pieces of shit. That's what they are. They're garbage. They're trash. And they're just projecting their trash onto me and my property. But that's okay because eventually somebody listens to this stuff. You repeat it often enough, you share the information online, the word gets out there. Just the way people are concentrated on all these drones and stuff. Well, our stories are getting out there too. And people are going to know what's happening to us because it's happening to them also. They just don't, some people just don't, they're not aware of it yet. So the triggers and themes are understood at the strategic, operational, and tactical levels of the campaign, and they are passed to various commanders of a particular AO if the TI moves towards that portion of the battle space. The triggers are part of a behavior modification program called NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, which uses anchors and triggers to promote change. An anchor is created when an emotional state is linked to something such as an object, person, sound, smell, place, color, etc. Yes, isn't that interesting? Yeah, Fred. Scarlett and the other agents are suffering from stunted emotional development. Absolutely. Oh, they're so immature. They're so immature. It's unbelievable. And these people have children. Once the anchor is established, whatever the individual is exposed to during the anchoring process becomes the stimulus, the trigger that will provoke the emotion. So basically, PO is simply a series of stimulus response interactions. The psychological operation source was, he took this from Bright Lights on Dark Shadows by Dr. Rowney Kildee. Oh, and here, he's got a little section here, drugging and poisoning. Chemicals and drugs into residual buildings with hidden NSA installed and maintain plastic plumbing lines. The NSA has kits for running lines into residential tap water and air ducts of subjects for the delivery of drugs such as sleeping gas or brainwashing aiding drugs. This is an outgrowth of the CIA pharmacology, and the sources on John St. Clair Equay versus the NSA, Fort Meade, Maryland, USA document. This sounds like a legal document. And then he says, this is from Viorel, Serv. He wrote this book. He says, I was covertly drugged. When I took a drug test, I discovered that I had the following drugs in my system: opiates, cocaine, Benzamine, what is this? Benzphetamine. He says, I wasn't on any medication or did any drugs at the time, and other TIs were complaining about being covertly drugged. Some TIs said they had the following drugs in their system: PCP, amphetamine, methamphetamine. Anyone can buy urine drug test kits and do a drug test at home, even keep one with them and do a drug test anywhere. Well, I actually did this recently, and they all showed up clear, because that's not what they're doing. Something else to me. They're not using these drugs. Well, whatever they're doing to me is not listed on the 12 panel drug test. And there is a special test for another drug, like the date rape drugs and the one that's called scopolamine. But you have to buy that separately. That's not included in the regular drug test. Mobbing, as a sociological term, means bullying of an individual by a group in any context, such as a family, a peer group, school, workplace, neighborhood, community, or online. When it occurs as physical and emotional abuse in the workplace, such as ganging up on somebody by coworkers, subordinates, or superiors, to force someone out of the workplace through rumor, innuendo, intimidation, humiliation, discrediting, and isolation. It is also referred to as malicious, non sexual, non racial, general harassment. And the source for this was on Wikipedia on mobbing. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which a person or a group covertly sows seeds of doubt in a targeted individual or group, making them question their memory, perception, or judgment. It may evoke changes in them, such as cognitive dissonance or low self esteem, rendering the victim additionally dependent on the gaslighter for emotional support and validation. Using denial, misdirection, contradiction, and misinformation, gaslighting involves attempts to destabilize the victim and delegitimize the victim's beliefs. Yes, sleep deprivation is a huge problem. Like, I'm not getting more than 3 hours of sleep. It's horrible. It's like when I want to go to sleep, they'll do something like, and this is really bad. Like when I take an Epsom salt bath, like a detox bath, I usually want to go in there for 20 minutes to a half an hour. But sometimes they actually put me to sleep when I'm in the bathtub. And I've woken up in a cold bathtub like an hour later, which is really bad. Let's see, Cheryl says, did anyone else hear that the Catholic Church came out and said that they were opening portals on December 25th? They said portals with an S, so that's more than one. No, I did not hear that. I didn't hear it, and whatever channels I'm following hasn't mentioned it. That's Christmas Day. So mimicking, the definition is to copy, imitate, in action, speech, expression, gesture, etc., to copy, to mock, ridicule, or bully. Gang stalkers copy and imitate what a TI does. For example, they'll dress in a similar color, they'll buy the same products in the supermarket, they'll leave home at the same time as the targeted person, they repeat the same expressions as the TI, copying pretty much everything the TI is doing, taking out the garbage at the same time. It's a psychological form of harassment to let the TI know that he or she is under constant surveillance. This tactic is used to imitate the TI. Yeah, I agree, Cheryl. They're going to do something. I think these drones are like the tip of the iceberg. These drones across New Jersey. And by the way, for anybody that doesn't know, New Jersey has a ton of money. They have a huge, huge military police budget. They are so heavily funded. They are a hub in the United States for military action. So it does not surprise me that there are all those drones across New Jersey. Hand gestures. This tactic is designed to keep the TI under a constant state of fear and stress. If the TI is walking to the supermarket, on the way to the supermarket and back, also inside the supermarket, the TI will see a large number of people touching the same part of their bodies. For example, they'll touch their nose, one eye covering, belly touching, touching the head, touching the ear, showing fists, a horn, clapping, covering the mouth. Well, I know one time Eddie Marks, Scarlett's husband, he drove past me while I was retrieving my mail, and he's doing, I call it the Sherlock Holmes, elementary, my dear Watson. He's like scratching his chin as if questioning or whatever. Yeah, Lucifer, Satan. Yep. Yeah, well, they love to perform their satanic rituals. You might say that people touch their body parts all the time and it's just a coincidence, but the large number of people touching the same parts of their bodies in a short period is less likely to be a coincidence. So then, of course, there are the noise harassment campaigns, and we all know this. The noise is the neighbors playing loud music when a TI is trying to sleep, landscaping work, neighbors using building equipment early in the morning or at specific times, kids playing with a ball or kicking it to the walls of a TI's home, kids shouting, adults shouting, cars passing and revving their engines, doors slamming, loud coughing, first responders, police, ambulance, firefighters passing by with the sirens on. And then you've got the Scarlett. Hi, Bernadette. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Bernadette. Did you see the short about my neighbor Scarlett Marks throwing poopy diapers by my mailbox? Hi, Anthony. Welcome. We're going to make her popular. Right? They want attention, right? Let's make them popular. Scarlett Marks and her poopy diapers. We'll make her popular. Yes, I made sure to post it on Facebook. Yeah, and the last time I looked, let me just see for a minute. Let me just check this for a minute. Because I get a lot more views on TikTok than I do on YouTube. It could be suppression or whatever. Let me just see. Oh yeah, so I've 141 views on Scarlett's poopy diapers. 141 views on TikTok. Hi, Billy. Billy says, "Why are my perp neighbors so fixated with your mailbox area?" That's a good question. Well, it's actually a federal crime. I don't know why they're fixated by the mailbox. But I'll tell you that since I moved here, I've had mail stolen. I've had mail opened. Hi, welcome, Billy. Um, well, let's think about the analysis here. What is a mailbox? Okay, a mailbox is a delivery system, right? You receive information, information goes out, information comes in. So it's definitely a form of harassment. But the way I look at it is, Scarlett and Eddie Marks, they are trash. So what they're doing is they're projecting their trash, their shit, onto me. But it's not about me, it's about them. Because they are white trash. And she's a nurse. So if she keeps it up, I want her arrested. And then after she's arrested, I will get her nursing license removed from her. But of course, the sheriff has not done anything yet. So Anthony says, I was just thinking about how he went to Thailand last year and the US sent their contractors to harass and follow me, but the Thai police did not harass or follow me. Well, that's really interesting. That's very interesting, Anthony. And I've noticed that there are people from the US that are actually moving to Thailand. Whether or not they're targeted, I have no idea. A lot of people are fed up with the United States. And Fred says, Anthony, have you tried Russia? I heard some reliefs but need more testimonials. Well, Edward Snowden is there, right? Edward Snowden is there. I mean, it's kind of like, it's really interesting because, read your previous answer. Anthony says, he went to Thailand. Yeah, so Thailand, when you went to Thailand, you were targeted by US contractors, but not the Thai police. That's really interesting. I don't see a next comment. It's not there, Anthony. I only see one comment. You said, I was thinking about how you went to Thailand last year and the US sent their contractors to harass and follow you, but the Thai police did not harass or follow me. There is not another comment after that, Anthony. But then Fred says, hi, Anthony, have you tried Russia? I heard some reliefs but need more testimonials. Con artist says, yes, I know some people as well moving to Thailand. Yeah, there was, and it's not somebody that I followed. I'm not seeing it. I don't see it, Anthony. Just make sure that it doesn't have like wrong words in it because it could be held, and I'm not seeing it, at least on my end. But there are a lot of people moving from the United States and they're moving to different countries, and some people are moving to Thailand. I heard that the food is so much better there. It's more cost effective. There's a YouTube creator, Isabel, and her boyfriend, and they dance. They dance everywhere, and they moved to Africa. I think she might be British or whatever. The Russian language requirement has been relaxed 3 years to learn a language to qualify for full residency. I don't know, like, I'm so bad with languages. I'd never make it. I'd never make it. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next book, read a little bit from here. This is Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. This is a top secret manual said to be found by accident in 1986 by an employee of Boeing Aircraft. He bought a surplus IBM copier for scrap parts at the government sale and found the manual inside. The manual outlines a plan to control the masses through manipulation of industry, education, and politics, and to divert the public's attention from what is really going on. Surprisingly, it is claimed that much of what is outlined has come to pass and makes interesting reading for those exploring the deeper levels of our social structure and how it may be controlled or influenced. This book tree edition includes all of the important charts and diagrams not seen in other versions. It's an exact replica of the original, aside from some minor alterations to correct print quality. Found in this edition only is a new 4-page introduction, and it explains why we may never be certain of the true origin of this document, despite the fact that someone has stepped forward and claimed that they assembled it from multiple sources. And Anthony says, I don't think contractors would dare go to Russia to follow us because they could be arrested as spies. That is a really good point. Oh, interesting. And Conrad said, I know for a fact the program exists in Russia. He says, I'm currently in contact with 2 Russian ladies, and one of them is a gang stalker. So I'm going to read, this is page 8 of this book, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. And as I'm looking at it, I see all the lines that these criminals did to the cover of the book. They're just so cruel. They like to bend the corners back, scrape it. This is a descriptive introduction of the silent weapon. Everything that is expected from an ordinary weapon is expected from a silent one, but its creators are only different in the manner of functioning. Instead, it shoots situations instead of bullets. It's propelled by data processing. Instead of a chemical reaction like an explosion, it originates from bits of data instead of grains of gunpowder. It's from a computer instead of a gun. It's operated by a computer programmer instead of a marksman, under the orders of a banking magnate instead of military general. It makes no obvious explosive noise. It causes no obvious physical or mental injuries and does not obviously interfere with anyone's daily social life. Yet, it makes an unmistakable quote unquote noise. It causes unmistakable physical and mental damage and unmistakably interferes with daily social life. It's unmistakable to a trained observer, one who knows what to look for. The public cannot comprehend this weapon and therefore cannot believe that they are being attacked and subdued by one. The public might instinctively feel that something's wrong, but because of the technical nature of this silent weapon, they cannot express their feelings in a rational way or handle the problem with intelligence. Therefore, they do not know how to cry for help and do not know how to associate with others to defend themselves against it. When a silent weapon is applied gradually to the public adjusts and adapts to its presence and learns to tolerate its encroachment on their lives until the pressure, psychological or economic, becomes too great, and then they crack up. Therefore, silent weapon is a type of biological warfare. It attacks the vitality, options, and mobility of individuals of a society by knowing, understanding, manipulating, and attacking their sources of natural and social energy and their physical, mental, and emotional strengths and weaknesses. So the theoretical introduction is: give me control over a nation's currency, and I care not to make it laws. This is written in 1743 by Mayer Amschel Rothschild. Now, please remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. Today's silent weapon technology is an outgrowth of a simple idea discovered, succinctly expressed, and effectively applied by the quoted Mr. Mayer Amschel Rothschild. Mr. Rothschild discovered the missing passive component of economic theory known as economic inductance. I've never heard of that before. It's called economic inductance. He, of course, did not think of this discovery in these 20th century terms, and to be sure, mathematical analysis had to wait for the Second Industrial Revolution, the rise of the theory of mechanics and electronics, and finally, the invention of the electronic computer. Therefore, it could be effectively applied in the control of the world economy. I'm just reading what you're writing here, con artist. In the study of energy systems, it always appears to be three elementary concepts. These are potential energy, kinetic energy, and energy dissipation. And corresponding to those concepts, there are three idealized, essentially pure physical counterparts called passive components. So, one, in the science of physical mechanics, the phenomenon of potential energy is associated with a physical property called elasticity or stiffness and can be represented by stretched spring. In electronic science, potential energy is stored in a capacitor instead of a spring. This property is called capacitance instead of elasticity or stiffness. And number two, in the science of physical mechanics, the phenomenon of kinetic energy is associated with a physical property called inertia or mass and can be represented by a mass or a flywheel in motion. In electronic science, kinetic energy is stored in an inductor, a magnetic field, instead of a mass. This property is called inductance instead of inertia. And number three, in the science of physical mechanics, the phenomenon of energy dissipation is associated with a physical property called friction or resistance and can be represented by a dash pot or other device which converts system energy into heat. In electronic science, dissipation of energy is performed by an element called a resistor or a conductor. And the term resistor is being one generally used to express the concept of friction, and the term conductor being generally used to describe a more ideal device like a wire employed to convey electric energy efficiency from one location to another. The property of a resistance or conductor is measured as either resistance or conductance reciprocals. So anyway, then it goes on to, I'm going to talk about this because it really doesn't apply to us. He goes on to talk about the discovery of energy. But this is really interesting because from what I understand, that they're using targeted people, they're using our energy to power things. They're piggybacking off of our energy to create, what is it called? They want to harvest our loosh. They want to increase our cortisol. Yes, that we are a bio battery because we have a biofield. Humans are electric and magnetic. We have electricity running through our bodies. We have kinetic energy. Our brain has energy. We can feel the energy going through our bodies. Our bodies will vibrate. They will vibrate our bodies. And they want to harvest our energy for their nefarious aims. So yes, so Rothschild, he's the one back in the day, and I guarantee if I were to read more of this, but it gets a little technical. So, this time of the night, like I'm not into technical, but how they have devised the use of harvesting our energy. So now the next book I've got here is The Advice for the Targeted Individual and Gang Stalking Victim, T.I. Paladin. Sabrina Wallace talks about the biofield. And think about it. Before I became targeted, I became a Reiki master teacher. So I would use the energy in my hands and direct the healing energy into another person. But in addition to that, when I would place my hands over another person, I would feel the energy of that person through my hands. And sometimes I would actually see things in my mind's eye about that individual. I mean, there was a time that this was my Reiki partner. We had gone to the same Reiki instructor, and we were practicing on each other. So I would go to her house, I'd practice on her. She'd come to my house, I'd practice on her. Yes, they are targeting healers. That's exactly right. So I had my hands on her. I was performing the Reiki. And, at the end of the session, you ask the person that you're working on for permission to share what you may have learned while you're working on them. You have to ask for permission because you don't want to just dump on somebody something that you have seen or felt, because it may harm them. So I had seen this little brown teddy bear. Like I don't know where it came from, this brown teddy bear, and she got so quiet. She got so quiet. She says, "You saw a teddy bear?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I don't know what it was, but it seemed like it was really important to you." And she said, "Well, her dog died, and her dog's name was Bear. And either somebody bought her the teddy bear, or she bought it, and she kept the teddy bear. I guess it was by her bed or whatever, in memory of her dog that passed away. Like she loved this teddy bear." And I picked up on the fact that she had this teddy bear, this brown little teddy bear. So evidently, whatever I was picking up with her was the fact that she had this closeness to her dog, and it was likely unresolved. Because generally, sometimes I'll, pick up really nice things and pleasant things, but generally it's something that's unresolved in the person. Like there was another client. I placed my hands on his feet, and it was really bizarre. And And I for some reason, I knew that he was having an affair just by touching his feet. And I knew this person a really long time, and I said, "Are you having an affair?" Now, this is not somebody that I would ever think would cheat on his wife. And he was just really honest. He just said flat out, he said, "Yep." He said, "Yeah, it's a coworker. Um, we were traveling together, and it just happened." But how would I know that? By touching somebody's feet. So yeah, stuff like this happens to me all the time. When I'm placing my hands on somebody, and sometimes I don't even have to touch somebody. I could be in the same room as somebody, and I just know something about that person. I don't even have to know the person. I might not have ever met the person before ever. And I could just be in the room with that person. I just know something about them. It's not good. I'll tell you, it's not good. Like when I was growing up, like even when I was little, I would get these bad vibes from people. I would tell my mother, and she'd say, "Oh no, no, no," she'd just smooth over it. And you think like my mother of all people was a Scorpio, like she knew better. But she liked to smooth things over and like to see the good in people and everything. Yeah, I wanted to see the good in people too, but I would feel the bad stuff in them also. Yes. I feel the bad intentions, like the Scarlet and all the people around here is very sick. And they all have bad intentions. Every one of them. Every one of them. And it's it's it it's amazing because they have more than me. Like my neighbor next door, her house has got to be like 5, 6 times larger than mine. But the people around here are envious, jealous, and very greedy. And like somebody said earlier, they're very immature, they're emotionally stunted. But I'm going to say it's beyond being emotionally stunted. And this is with a lot of the stalkers. You think these intelligence agencies, you think they're going to choose like the smartest people out there to target you? Though the smart ones are going to be at the top. They're the ones that are devising the program. They're the ones that are creating the scripts. But they oh I'll get to that question in a minute, Cheryl. But they're going to choose the lowest scum on the planet to target the good people. So Cheryl asked, "Can you get evil transference from Reiki? Like can evil jump off on you?" Um I believe that it can, but the issue mainly is that most people that are going to come for a Reiki session um, are looking for healing. They don't have that evil. I don't remember ever working on an evil person. Honestly, I don't. Until I was dealing with the feral cat cartel people in New Jersey, like that woman Maria. I really was not familiar with evil. I mean, yeah, there were a lot of people that I'd met that were not nice. A lot of lawyers I felt were very evil. I mean, my ex-husband had a lawyer that was evil to the core, nasty. A lot of lawyers I feel are evil. But nobody that I ever like work with, even consulting astrologically, people come to an astrologer. People come for Reiki um, because they want to learn something about themselves and they want to feel better. They want to heal. So I don't recall ever working with an evil person ever. Um, but I have worked with people who I have felt were in evil situations. When I was hired in New Jersey for a party planner, um, they would send me to Sweet 16 parties and high school graduation parties, which I really, really liked. It was mostly the high school graduation parties because there were so many kids there. And of course, they're graduating high school, so they're thrilled. They're graduating high school. And I would be doing the tarot readings there, and they would like line up out the door. Hi, STL. Oh, welcome, welcome. Thank you. I know you're getting ready for bed. I know it's late here. It's like it's midnight. It's midnight here on the East Coast. But so anyway, when I was working doing tarot readings at the high school graduations, I absolutely loved it. Besides the fact that they paid me really, really well, like they paid me really well. So I'd be there for like 4 hours, and these kids would line up out the door, and sometimes they get back online again for another reading. But there are a couple of them. I mean, I remember it, like I'm thinking about it right now. And there was one in front of me. I know she was pregnant. I mean, I just knew she was pregnant. I just felt so bad. She's high school and pregnant. And then there was another guy that came up to me, and he's more effeminate. I mean, I have to be careful of my words here. And I believe that he was having a lot of difficulty with his identity. Okay. And I could feel the angst, I could feel the pain in this kid. And I told him what to do at night. And what I would tell these kids when they were in such pain, like some of them, it was just horrible, just horrible. It's high school graduation. They should have the rest of their lives ahead of them and feeling wonderful. And I would tell them that when they sleep at night, to cover their belly button, cover your belly button, place one arm across your chest, like you're giving yourself a hug. I tell them to give themselves a hug. Make sure that you hug yourself. Give yourself a hug at night, and you can sleep that way. Give yourself a hug and cover your belly button, because the evil likes to come through your belly button. They like to harness the energy around your solar plexus. And there's actually a singer from another country. I guess a lot of people don't understand why he covers his belly button. And it's not just because he doesn't want to show it to the public, because he makes a point of going out there with his shirt open, showing his abs and everything. But he puts a Band-Aid over his belly button. And I was told this by a reader years ago. When you're dealing with a vampire, a psychic vampire, cover your stomach, cover your belly button, even if you have to use cellophane to cover your midsection. So that's just a little advice, is to cover your belly button. And some people, and now, the weight blanket, yeah, that's what I have. I bought that. That's exactly what I bought. And let me tell you, STL, when I get into bed at night, it's like I have to take a deep breath, because I've got like 6 layers on top of me. And one of them is the weighted blanket with the beads in it. And it does help. It helps a little bit. But it's heavy. And you could buy them at different weights. So I bought one like a lighter weight. Like, I'm not a big person. So you have to be very careful. They come in different weights. So if you're a big person, if you're a big, heavy person, get the heavier beads. But I'm like I'm 5'4" and I don't weigh more than 110 pounds. So, you've got to get them to fit your height and weight and stuff. However, what I've noticed is my blanket is so big and I don't have a big bed. So if you fold it over so that you have a double layer, you can do that. Yeah, I that's exactly what I do also. Yeah. I've got a wool blanket, I've got a down comforter, a sheet. I mean, there's just so much stuff. And now because it's got colder, um I put another blanket on top of it. What do you call it? A sleeping bag. Now, normally I would like slide into the sleeping bag, but I don't like that because sometimes the zipper gets stuck in the middle of the night. So I put the sleeping bag on top of that mess, on top of all of that. So, so now, speaking of vampires, we're going to the advice for targeted individual and gang stalking victim by T.I. Paladin. Yes, but they still get to you, because they figure out how to get through all those layers. Like it works for a long time, um, but it's certainly better than not sleeping with all that stuff. I know exactly. When you need to use the bathroom, you have to rush. Exactly, taking all the layers off, and they're heavy. Literally, like I have to peel them off me, and I actually sit down on my bed after they're all folded back, and I have to slide myself in, wiggle myself in because it's heavy. It's okay. The dictionary definition of a vampire: a preternatural being, commonly believed to be a reanimated corpse that is said to suck the blood of sleeping persons at night. A corpse animated by an underparted soul or demon that periodically leaves the grave and disturbs the living. Be aware that when you open the door to your home, office, or car to someone, you're not only inviting that person in, but any demonic alien spirits they harbor. These beings take symbols and metaphors quite literally. Oh, they like the three Masons around here. I call them three Masons because they do everything in threes. You know how bad luck comes in threes? Well, they're bad luck. Well, we were talking about the drones earlier. Okay, so, first of all, New Jersey, I lived there for 30 years. Texas has, but well, there's a woman in Kansas that was seeing drones. They're all over the. I have drones over my property, but specifically in New Jersey. Then this like person gets on and is like gaslighting the entire public about the drones. Like, oh no, they're not bad. Oh no, they're not from another country. Then one person says, oh yeah, they're from Iran. You think? I mean, come on. Are we going to let foreign drones hover over New Jersey? What are you kidding? And then the FBI claims that they don't know what they are, where they're coming from. Oh yeah, I don't believe any of that nonsense. Those drones are our drones. New Jersey has tons of drones. The government has tons of drones. Why they're doing it, I have no idea. I don't know why they're doing it, but I don't believe for a minute that they belong to anyone other than the USA. I'm sorry. I mean, since I've become a targeted person, everything that's being done to this country is being done by our country, not by anybody else. It's not Russia, Russia, Russia. It's not Israel. It's not Iran. It's not anybody else. It's only, it's not China, China, China. It's none of those countries are doing anything to us. Nobody. But us. We're making it all up. We're the ones that were trying to create a war. They are the vampires. They're the vampires. And we already know as targeted people, because you know that we're on somebody's list. You know, my favorite Bureau of Instigation. They've got those lists. And we're on it. We're on the list. We're placed on the list. So you mean to tell me they don't know what those drones are and what those drones are doing? Please. Just beware, you know. Okay, let me see. And perceive the drones as friendly. Fear-based energy harvesting looshing. Yeah. I'm not afraid of the drones. I mean, I've been living with drones above my house for 5 years. The New Jersey drones, what are they doing? They're like giving a sky show. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing there. I have no idea. Maybe it's a drill. Maybe they're practicing. Maybe it's surveillance. I don't know. But all I remember was, I had FOIA requests to the Manalapan, New Jersey Police Department about their drones, and I never received a response. But so now I know. I know they have drones. They're all over the sky. They're in North Jersey, they're in South Jersey, they're in Mid Jersey, they're all over New Jersey. And I lived there for 30 years. So, like when these reporters get on and say, oh, it's in Morristown, New Jersey, or Bergen County, New Jersey, or in South Jersey, in Toms River, New Jersey. They're all over New Jersey. Yeah. A good point that drones are psychological conditioning. Well, because people are curious now, like, what is it? Why are they there? It's sort of like the thousands of ladybugs that were dumped in the nonprofit cat building. You know, I don't know why they're there. Maybe it's just practice. Oh, really? That your energy targeting began 2 days after you called the police about a drone by your window. Well, see, this is the thing. Um, Even though I know I have drones above and everything, I would never call the sheriff's department about the drone. I'll just like report it on on YouTube. I'll just do a video, report it on YouTube. No, I will not call the police about any energy weapons or drones or anything like that. Not the police department. Yes, yes, the high rise. Yeah, that's right. That's right. In your testimony, that's right. I remembered. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yep. Yes, yes. I remember about the high rise. But, when you're newly targeted and you see something like that at your window, it is scary. And you do want to report it because you don't know if it's surveilling other people too. When you're newly targeted, you don't know what's going on. I mean, do you know how many times I called the police in New Jersey when my house was vandalized? People were breaking in, literally breaking in. They moved the door jamb away from my door, and then I get gaslighted by the police officer not wearing a badge, not wearing his ID. I mean, I knew who he was, Reggie, who came over and gaslighted me and said, "Your house wasn't broken into." I was a locksmith before I became a police officer. I just looked at him like, "You're kidding me." You're looking at that door that was broken away from the door jamb, all the paint scraped off, and all the striation marks on my deadbolt, and you're telling me that my house wasn't broken into? Okay, sayonara. Goodbye. We know you're involved. So con artist is saying psychological conditioning because social media attention has raised the covert question. Therefore, the program is damage control. Very interesting. Hi, Matson. Welcome, welcome. Are you out of the hospital? Drones have been over my left shoulder wherever I go since 2019. There are always two or three of them in my ski view. STL says, I called and the cop said, don't worry, we'll handle it. And 2 days later, I'm getting vibrated and zapped. I'm glad to hear you're out of the hospital. Good. I'm glad. So, yeah, so we were talking about the definition of a vampire. I hope you all had the opportunity to see what Scarlett Marks, my neighbor. Scarlett decided she's going to leave poopy diapers by my mailbox today. I happen to have been outside recording a video when I see her stop by my mailbox with her window open. And then she's driving slowly. And then she starts speeding up a little bit and then rolls her window up. It wasn't until I came inside that I saw that there was a white something or other by my mailbox. And when I went out there like an hour later, she left dirty, poopy diapers there. Are they pigs? Or she's a pig. And that is a nurse. That's okay, Nurse Ratchet. Nurse Ratchet the Scarlet. I'm going to make sure that if she's not arrested, that I will contact that nursing board. I have my complaint number. I just haven't filed it yet. You saw a drone footage from a fellow YouTube TIs here on YouTube going back as far as 10 years. Wow. Personally, I didn't notice drones until a year ago. Well, I don't know because I didn't know what a drone was 10 years ago. I did not know what a drone was 10 years ago. So I wouldn't have known what to look for. And, a lot of the larger drones sound like helicopters. So if there was a drone over my house, like in New Jersey, I would have thought it was a helicopter. I would have thought it was a copter and not a drone because I really did not know what a drone was. But I know that a lot of realtors now, property managers have these tiny drones to get aerial views of a property. They have mini aircraft that look exactly like planes. Connor says, yes, I kicked myself because I had the facility to save YouTube videos back then. Oh, yeah. Unmanned. Well, the YouTube creator, her name is Bobby, by the way. Her YouTube channel is SHP. She does a lot of digging and stuff. She says that some of the unmanned drones are battery operated and they recharge themselves off of our electrical wires. Matson says, out of the office window, enlarge screenshot and enlarge again, and there was 6 or more in daylight. Wow. Again, I would not have known what to look for 10 years ago. But I'm wondering if, like, what I saw in New Jersey were drones. Dirty electricity piggybacking off of our electricity. Yes, exactly. Yes, the drones are recharging from the grid and our bioenergies, and it increases our electric bill. So they're stealing our electricity and charging us for it. So getting back to these vampires. Getting back to these vampires. These beings take symbols and metaphors quite literally. It could be a friend, a plumber, or the cable guy. If you must allow people into your home, pray before and after to prevent and repel any entities from remaining in your home, from doing any harm, and immediately revoke the invitation after they leave. Oh my goodness, I've got to go pray by my mailbox. I've got to go smudge my mailbox now. Get rid of that scarlet energy. And then it writes here, see the Jim Carrey movie, The Cable Guy. Not only did Matthew Broderick's character invite him in, but he also accepted a stolen gift, the free cable channels. That was the sin used as a hook. These friends, so called friends, and the demon aliens they host will try to tempt you with sin. You need to recognize that and stand your ground with a firm refusal. Yeah, so let's all get together and rebuke Scarlett in the name of Jesus Christ, because she had the audacity when I moved here to drive around with a vehicle with a license plate that said blessed. Yes, Scarlett had a license plate that said blessed. But I said, "No, you're not blessed. You sold your soul to the devil. You're cursed now. You can go back to the pit of hell where you belong." Be aware of your dreams, the dream world, and the subconscious mind. It seems to be interference between our world and theirs. Psychic soldiers are trained in dream hacking. Yes, we got to I've got to go get my sage. It's raining here, but when it stops raining, I'll have to go out and smudge my mailbox. And I have some holy water too. I'm going to spray some holy water over it. Get her negative energy out of here. What a piece of crap, huh? And she's Nurse Ratchet. Nurse Ratchet. They will often hack your dreams because that is when you're most susceptible to suggestion and most likely to have your guard down. If you open a door to someone in a dream, they will take that as permission in your waking world. Well, see, the problem is with the use of technology, you can be completely unaware that they're hacking your dreams. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You come into agreement with me and rebuke the Scarlet Demon. Rebuke Scarlet. So it says that they will steal that as a contract and it will play out in the real world. If you become aware of a dream in which you're invited somebody into your home, car, or workplace, revoke that permission immediately. So I'm going to revoke their permission. Scarlett, Eddie, Bubba, all your kids, all your little baby kids, all your little weenie kids, anybody that you think you're related to, I rebuke you. You have no power over me. You go back to the pit of hell where you belong. You are a demon. You are the Antichrist. You are a piece of crap. And go take your poopy diapers, go take your poopy toilet paper, because you are the poop of the world. You are a piece of shit. Low class, white trash with your poopy diapers. You go back to the pit of hell, Scarlett. Yes, and we're gonna smudge you out of here. Anyway, let's see. Oh, and Scarlett is a red like blood. Imagine having a name like Scarlett. Just a red blood. Let's say you had a dream 2 days ago of a figure dressed in black trying to push its way into your home. and two beings came, grabbed him, and dragged him. Oh, good. Well, you have a protector. You have an angel protecting you, grabbing these demons off of you. If you become aware of a dream in which you're inviting somebody into your home, car, or workplace, revoke that permission immediately. If you remember a dream that you made any sort of agreement, break the contract immediately. If you dream of helping or rescuing anyone or anything, let it go. And know that you're under no obligation to continue to help. You have free will. I suggest you watch the Leonardo DiCaprio movie Inception. In that film, some people are trained to militarize their subconscious, meaning when an intruder is detected, the subconscious went into an offense to drive the intruder out. The first step in doing this is to tell yourself you will become aware of dream hacking and wake up if it happens. And to remember the dream. You will immediately revoke any permission or agreements. You need to pray about this. Be determined, focused, and resolve that you will gain control over your dream world. Yes, the scarlet letter was a negative thing in medieval days, and that's why I called one of my videos the Scarlet Letter and have a thumbnail of the Scarlet Letter. One thing I have found very helpful in focusing prayer and intention from the heart is literally feel the thoughts and prayers coming from the center of your chest rather than as words in your head. That's true. Yes, yes, yes. You have to feel it and not think it. The energy of the human heart is our strength and produces the most profound effects. Bringing your energy down from your spinning thoughts to be centered in the heart will give you a sense of peace and strength. This heart centered energy repels the demonic and alien. When you pray from the heart, always pray for the human soul and against the demonic alien. Something like, I pray to liberate human souls of the perps who are enslaved and I wish for freedom. I pray for the defeat of the enemy and I send all demonic and dark alien spirits out of this realm. Defeat their purpose. I bring light to the world. There's a book called Prayer on Fire by Fred Hartley, which can give you some pointers and techniques. And once again, if you're not religious, keep an open mind and glean what you can from the book as far as directing energy and intention. Another very important thing to do is disconnect all of your buttons. They want to hurt your feelings. They want to make you mad. They want to get you to be self-righteous. They want to make you react. Don't. Just smile to yourself and know that what the game is, and you won't play it. You don't play their games. Well, I have to tell you, when they're dropping garbage and trash on my property, it's hard not to react. I don't want it on my property. It's not something I want to deal with. And I will make sure that every time somebody dumps trash on my property, it's going to be known in a very public way. And like that, that song Popular, we're going to make them popular. They want my attention. Let's make them popular. And say their name, say their name. She wants to be popular. Let's make her popular. Self-pity makes you weak. Anger makes you weak. What is your reaction if someone laughs at you, looks down at you, ignores you? If you feel hurt or angry, back up. You know they're only saying hurtful things to be mean to get to you. You know the game. Don't play it. Step back and examine your self-esteem. Why is it so easy for people to push your buttons? If you were abused or bullied as a child, which I was not, consider that people who succeeded in smacking down your self-esteem were under the influence of them. They've been victimizing you your whole life. Well, that's not true. And you, son of man, this is Ezekiel 2:6. And you, son of man, do not be afraid of them or their words. Do not be afraid. Though briars, and thorns are all around you, and live among scorpions, do not be afraid of what they say or be terrified by them, though they are rebellious people. I want you to pay close attention to the action heroes in movies, especially the martial arts movies. I have to tell you, I don't know any of these. I don't really watch movies anymore, but it says here, pay attention to the focus, self-control, and sense of purpose that drives them forward to victory. You do have a purpose in this life, and if you find yourself a targeted individual, then one aspect of your purpose is to find your inner strength and defeat these demons. There is an unseen spiritual war going on all around us, and you are on the front lines. Please remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. Anger makes you weak. Mastery of self makes you strong. Anger exposes a weakness that can be exploited by the enemy. To illustrate that point, here's a story from an ancient Japan. Okay, so here's like a once upon a time. It's short. Yes, thank you, Con Artist. He agrees. He says, since my targeting is off the charts, it's best to advertise everything they do. And I will be advertising everything they do. Yes. Let's see. It says, once upon a time, there was a young samurai warrior. His mastery of the sword was strong, but his mastery of self was weak. He heard of a wise old samurai who was said to be even better swordsman than he. He sought out this wise old man. If you're so wise, the young samurai arrogantly demanded, then explain to me the nature of heaven and hell. The old samurai said to the young samurai, why should I speak to one as arrogant and self-important and someone so self-righteous and conceited as you? Out of my sight, you spoiled brat. No one had ever dared speak to the young samurai like that. His hands were shaking with anger. Infuriated, he drew his sword and made a move to behead the wise old samurai. At that very moment, the wise old samurai turned to him and calmly said, in answer to your question, this is hell. The young samurai was humbled and amazed that the wise old samurai would endanger his own life to illustrate a lesson. The young samurai quickly regained control of himself. Seeing the young samurai regain his centeredness and calm, the wise old samurai gently stated, that, my son, is heaven. The 7 heavenly virtues: chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, forgiveness, kindness, and humility. And the 7 deadly sins are lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. Keep your focus, center your heart and your head on living right and on your purpose, which is to defeat evil. You need to start within yourself. They want to bait you. This may not entirely stop the gang stalking and targeting, but it will eventually reduce it. Developing your inner strength and character goes against their programming, and it short circuits the matrix. There's also a belief that there is some sort of spiritual law that they need to tell you what they're going to do before they do it. A good night, SDL. I'm almost finished here. After I finish this paragraph, I'm going to be signing off too. Pay close attention to any hints that you might be given. For instance, when this all started for me, they somehow influenced a woman at HR and Block who did my taxes to make a $5,000 mistake causing me to owe the IRS. I eventually found the mistake and the IRS refunded me. That was a few years ago, but just today, I received some unsolicited advice from a stranger regarding my taxes. This person even gave me the name and number of someone who would, quote unquote, help me. That's another thing. These people, these entities, they develop a playbook on their targets. It's likely they will put out the same hooks and try the same bait on you over and over and over again. The same tactics over and over. They're not very creative. They don't evolve. But hopefully, you do have the capacity to evolve and exercise some degree of creativity. If something seems like deja vu, be on alert and don't fall for it. So that is from the book Advice for the Targeted Individual and Gang Stalking Victim, T.I. Paladin. And thank you everybody for joining in the chat this evening. And I apologize for being 40 minutes late, but it wasn't my fault. I was knocked out with radio frequencies. So please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, get the message out there. And and also, what happens with the live streams I've noticed is after I end it, because it's generally monetized, it takes YouTube a few hours. Like it takes them a couple of hours, like 2 or 3 hours, sometimes more, depending on how long the live stream is, to go through it. And so that the chat does not immediately replay. So you'll have to be patient. Like if you're going back to listen to this again, the chat might not appear for a couple of hours. Con artist, thank you so much. Thank you, SDL. Thank you, everybody that joined. Anthony and Cheryl, Matson. Have a great night, everybody. And I'm going to sign off for now.